guys, and welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by the title of today's video, I'm going to be doing a video I don't think I've done before, which is kind of like a little riding routine. So I've got Amber here and we are just going to do a bit of a jumping lesson today. Not even really that, just go over some jumps. She was off for a couple of weeks while I had some competitions with like Bullet and Domino and Ginger and some of the other horses. So this past week, it's currently Sunday, so this past week I have been like definitely doing a bit of bigger jumps with her, getting her back into the usual, because obviously I didn't want to rush her straight into it after having like 2 weeks off. But yeah, so we're in the little stalls by the round pen and not the paddock, and the arena. So we're just going to get Amber all tacked up and ready. We're not going to do anything, well, I say we're not going to do anything higher than what we would, okay Amber, than what we would normally do. But we are just going to get her tacked up. But yeah, so I think with Amber, I do jump quite high. I think the highest I've jumped with Amber is 1.40 m, I want to say. But we're going to get all the jumps set up. We'll start off obviously nice and chill. You know, just start with some little poles on the ground. Make sure we get Amber and me all warmed up and ready to actually properly start jumping. I think it's very important for me, at least, to warm up the horses, especially since I do a lot of competitions with the horses. They jump quite high. I think I am going to try, and I think, so me and Amber obviously do very well doing 140. We've sticked at doing 140 for quite a while now, but I think at some point I maybe want to try 145 just to see, obviously. You know, it might go well, it might not. But yeah, with the horses jumping so high, and you know, it's just very important for me to make sure they're all warmed up and they don't like pull a muscle or like strain themselves or anything too bad. So we're just gonna have like a couple laps around the arena and just take it nice and steady. Make sure we don't rush anything too much, because obviously don't want to hurt Amber or anything. And Amber is the kind of horse, if she does not want to do something, she will not do it, which I respect her for that. But it's kind of like, if she does not want to do a jump, she won't do a jump. So like, before you guys come at me saying, you know, Amber shouldn't be jumping 140, if she did not want to jump 140, she wouldn't jump it. Even if she didn't want to jump like a cross pole or anything, just like a tiny jump, she wouldn't jump it, you know. So all my horses, I personally think they all love jumping. They do enjoy jumping. I enjoy jumping, but I also I don't just do jumping, if you get what I mean. Like, I do other sorts of things. So like I try to get the horses out on quite a lot of hacks, just to change things up a bit, especially if we've had like maybe a bit of like a competition weekend or something, or we've just had a lot of lessons, or even like dressage. If I do dressage with one of the horses, because Domino does a bit of dressage, we're trying to get him do a bit more dressage with him. But you know, with all the horses, I do try and go hacking, try go to new places. I go to Golden Hills Valley, which is just down in that direction, and look at the beautiful castle, guys. If you play at SSO, you will know the new castle. I can't pronounce it. I want to say like marching gas. The new castle, you'll know it. There was a big thing. But yeah, so I try to take them quite a few places, so Golden Hills is my go-to if I don't have as much time to get out. and get out and like probably go somewhere new or just go somewhere a bit further. But if I go a bit further, if I pull the map up, so yeah, we go to Golden Hills Valley, which is literally just right by the stables. We do go to the Hollow Woods here sometimes, although I do want to start going to, where is it? Oh, there we go, Valedale. Right, I'm going to say Valedale, whatever it's called, however you want to pronounce it. It's by the lake here, or Fir Grove, great place to go. Although another go-to place if I have a bit more time but don't want to go somewhere like new, I go to Moreland, between Moreland and Fort Pinter, because they've got some nice places, just not even really hacked, just to like run around a bit and but yeah. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna go into a bit of a canter now, and we're gonna get the cross pole started. It's very important as well because, especially with Amber, her being quite young, I think, how old is she? 7. I think she's turning 8 this year. It's like she gets quite I don't know how to describe it, like she gets very distracted very easy, and she also doesn't concentrate that much, so if you just take her on a bit of a walk, she'll just get bored. That's why I try and do a lot of poles, a lot of transitions, flying changes, a lot of things, so that she's always kind of like thinking. She's not just sat there, because if I literally just trot around like I did, if I do that a couple more times, she will just get bored, and that's when like we don't focus as much when we're jumping. We can have a few more mistakes, so it's always good. I do love the setup that they have here at the equestrian centre, because it makes like her, actually, Amber and all the other horses, they've got to make sure like they're thinking where they're going. Obviously all the places do amazing courses and that, and no matter what, just even if it's poles, cross country, dressage, well, I mean, there's not really a course for dressage, but show jumping, what I mean, kind of thing. But honestly, it's so nice. So just got to make sure we properly warm her up. Just start with quite the small jumps, I think. Make sure she's all ready. So yeah, we'll get on to the jumps a bit later. So yeah, so I think as well, so it's just been the holidays for me, so I've been working with Emma quite a bit. I've actually been working with Daisy a bit as well, because Daisy is more of I don't compete with Daisy. I can compete with her, but I mostly compete with Amber, Bullet, Ginger and Deer. If I was to compete, they're the main horses I would compete with. Domino, again, like I said earlier, I have been trying to get more like dressage lessons with him, which is going really well, I must say. But yeah, so I think the goal for this year is to maybe get a couple more dressage lessons, a couple more competitions. Last year I didn't really do that many, I don't even know, I just didn't do that many, because it was a hectic year last year. But yes, that's definitely the goal for this year, is to get a couple more. So I think we're going to move on to the big jumps. Now, what I always like to do as well, even when we've got the proper jumps out, is, make sure, so I have a good gallop around so I know what speed I'm going to go, but also just so that Amber knows that as soon as we gallop, it doesn't mean we're going to jump, it means we're going to go around the jumps. Again, gets her brain thinking, make sure she knows I'll purposely try and not exactly line myself up, but try and get myself in line with the jump, and then not like go around it so she knows. So then she's not just going for any jump, which honestly I found is a really good method. But we're going to start with the red one. Just go to whatever one really. So we're gonna go to la red one. And then yeah, so it's really important for me and Amber to just make sure me and her both know, like, we're on the same page. We both know what we're jumping. We know what we're not jumping, because sometimes we both get a bit like carried away, and then we end up jumping jumps we're not gonna. I didn't record it, but when I first got Amber, oh my god, was it when she was 6? She's turning 8. No, it was when she was 5. She was very well trained when she was like 5, which obviously you don't get in all the horses, which I was very lucky to get that. And we had a competition where we just went over like some random jumps because we just got a bit carried away, and that's why I find it really important, and that's why I now do it with the rest of my horses. I make sure we both know where we're going, we're not going to get confused, etc, etc. I think you guys get the point. But yeah, there's no specific course I do in here. I kind of just wing it, because then it also makes Amber think a bit more, and also me, because I've got to think about like what jump's best to go next. Is she gonna like actually go this way? Is she just gonna go nope and go right past it, kind of thing? But yeah, I think jumping is definitely one of my favourite, like, I think it's one of my favourite things to do, although I must say cross country is really good as well. But cross country, my horses aren't as keen on. They will do it, but they prefer show jumping, or just like actual proper jumps rather than logs, if you get what I mean. And like, you guys hopefully get what I mean. If you don't, I'm really sorry, I'm not good at explaining. But I think I'm gonna actually record maybe the next like competition that I have with one of my horses. I don't know who it'll be, but it'll be one of my horses, and we'll have to see how that goes, because every time I seem to record like an actual like competition, I seem to fall off, or we refuse a few jumps, so it never goes well. So we're just gonna give Amber a bit of a cool down time, just, you know, to get her ready. Obviously don't want to rush it and spend too long jumping all at the same time. Make sure she's nice and focused, she's ready, I'm ready, because honestly sometimes jumping it tests all of us, especially since some of my horses, luckily I've trained Amber out of this, they like to jump like a stride early. So I remember when I first got Bullet, he started, like, if you watch my mouse, he came up and then he'd like jump there, like around there, and I'd just be like holding on for dear life. So that's why I try and get my horses to jump around there, not there, because that's quite far, and that's how you end up in a jump. So yeah, would not recommend being in a jump. I've been in a jump, it was not fun. I don't want to be in a jump again, I must say. But we're gonna sorry, my voice is still going a bit. I've been sick. I was sick for quite a while actually, but I'm getting there. But I'm still losing my voice a bit. But we're gonna get started again. We're just gonna go over whatever jumps really, see what ones we can do. Oh, someone left their horse there. Okay, try and avoid the horses, that is the one thing. In our stables you can like book the arena for like, I think it's like 30 minutes or an hour, or I think the max is like 2 hours, and this one you don't actually book. So this one's like if you just turn up to this dome and go, actually I want to have a bit of jumping lesson, or you want to have a bit of flat work, you just turn up kind of thing. But you've got to accept there's other people here. You know, you've just got to think, you just got to remember that. And you can't, oh my god, people running everywhere. You just got to remember that, and it's just be careful. So sometimes I prefer to book, just because with my horses competing so competitively, and we go to a lot of competitions, and I think we'd say we're quite high level jumpers, that it's just easier to not do it with people in the arena, because knocked that one down, that was my fault. I think I pulled a bit too early then. Now obviously I'm not saying I'm the best in the barn, because I'm not. I know I'm not. Everyone's at different levels, and there are a lot of people that are not as good as me. There's a lot of people that are better than me, kind of thing. We're all mixed. So sometimes it's a bit difficult, because you have the beginners in here, and obviously, you know, beginners, advanced, they're very different. You know, they're very different, like how high they jump, what technique they use, where they go, kind of thing. You've just got to be keeping an eye out for where they go. But obviously we all start somewhere. We can't help that. No one jumps on a horse for the first time and is an absolute pro, because it doesn't happen. It just doesn't. So yeah, but I think I'm gonna book maybe tomorrow after school at like 5 p.m, maybe 4 p.m. actually, for like an hour in the indoor arena. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, which I didn't really want, but I guess we don't really have a choice, do we? So we're gonna, I think that is probably enough jumping for today, but what we're gonna do is, now I don't know actually many people that do this, but I personally love it. Now, I went through a phase where I hated warming up. I just wanted to get straight in there and jump, which obviously I didn't do, because it's not good for your horse or you, to be honest, just to get straight jumping. But I have since begun to like it now. But I have started cooling my horses down. So this is obviously what I went at the beginning. This is how I warmed up, and I do this after I've had like my jumping lesson, or just any lesson really. If it's a flat work lesson, then obviously not. But just so my horses know, like, that's the end of the lesson now. You know, there's no more jumping now. And it means that they don't get confused and think, like, we don't go from jumping to straight in the stable, because it can make them a tad spicy, which is not what I really want, I can't lie. So we're just going to go over a couple of these. You know, obviously, I'm not saying we have to spend ages on it. Just something to get Amber cooled down. She knows, like, this is the end of the lesson now. We're done, kind of thing. Okay. So we're going to go over the trot poles, and then we're going to head back into the barn. So there is, I think, I was going to ride, because obviously I have Amber signed up tomorrow, or is it Tuesday? I think it's both days actually, for, we'll leave that there because I know the other person will want it. We're basically, my horses, if you sign them up on the board, they will do lessons. They will be used in the lessons with the beginners, the intermediates, the advanced, whatever you choose, for like the people who maybe can't afford a horse or don't want a horse, maybe just want to ride and, you know, compete in that. So I have Amber signed up for the beginners. Even though she does ride, we do competitions like the advanced and that. I do her, I can't speak today. I have her do the beginner lessons just so it's not too much work on her. But I think I've got some of the other horses signed up, maybe some more of the lessons. So maybe the bigger lessons. And obviously I could take them out at any point. Like, I don't have Ginger in any of them. just because I can't lie, Ginger would be like a maniac to be on. He is a nutter. But yeah. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching my riding routine. If you have not already, please like and subscribe because it means a lot to me and really helps me out. See you guys next time. Bye.